Friends, today we will discuss another part of this chapter which we have discussed in previous lecture, mineral resources. Today we will discuss another part of this chapter, that is energy resources. You know, energy is required in various activities. This energy is obtained from the different sources which we have to discuss in this chapter. As we humans need food for energy to do various activities, as we need the electricity, the power to run industries or to drive different kinds of vehicles, they need energy as well, which they obtain from the different sources which we will discuss. Energy resources actually are classified into two types. Number one, conventional sources of energy. Number two, non-conventional sources of energy. These are the two types of energy resources. Actually, conventional sources, we have to differentiate it with non-conventional sources of energy. What are conventional sources of energy? Conventional sources of energy, it includes those sources which we obtain mostly from the minerals. Minerals have two categories. One section is metallic minerals, another section is fossil fuels. The fossil fuels section includes with this part, that is conventional sources of energy. Fossil fuels. Fossil fuels includes coal, petroleum, and natural gas. These fossil fuels, when we burn them, they emit carbon dioxide, which is emitted in the atmosphere, and these gases act as the greenhouse gases. These conventional sources of energy is not eco-friendly. As I already told you, they create pollution in the atmosphere. They are not eco-friendly, as these are the greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases are those gases, they allow these ultraviolet radiations to penetrate on the Earth's surface. When these terrestrial radiations move back, in that manner, these greenhouse gases act as a barrier. In that manner, the temperature of the Earth starts rising. The glacier or the snow which is found on the top of the mountains or hills, or on the Greenland, or on the polar regions, starts melting. It led to the various problems like floods, or sea level will increase, or those areas which have the water scarcity, they will face again water scarcity or desertification, the area will be converted into more desert. Now, it is conventional source of energy. These are such sources which people were using from ancient times. Conventional sources of energy are not eco-friendly, they create pollution in the atmosphere. In that manner, we have to choose or we have to use another sources which will become the substitutes of such conventional sources of energy, and they will not create the huge pollutions in the atmosphere. Such sources which cannot create pollutions in the atmosphere are known as non-conventional sources of energy. These non-conventional sources of energy were taken under utilization recently. Non-conventional sources of energy were taken under utilization recently. It includes various sources such as solar energy, wind energy, biogas, tidal energy, geothermal energy. These are the examples of non-conventional sources of energy: solar energy, wind energy, biogas, tidal energy, geothermal energy. These are all sources of renewable resources or sources. Solar energy, India has the advantage of using solar energy because Tropic of Cancer passes through India. There is advantage of some states which they obtain or utilize this solar energy in large quantity. Wind energy, most of the states in India are towards the seaside or ocean side. There are two seas, Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, Indian Ocean. There are some states which are the coastal states. They have the advantage of using this wind energy mostly. We will discuss these non-conventional sources of energy one by one. First of all, you clear this concept. What is the difference between conventional sources of energy and non-conventional sources of energy? Conventional sources of energy, I told you that they are not eco-friendly. Non-conventional sources of energy are eco-friendly. They don't create pollution in the atmosphere. They are renewable. They create pollutions in the atmosphere. They are non-renewable. As in first chapter, resources and development, there is outline classification. Resources are classified into two types: natural and human resources. In natural resources, they are further classified into two types: renewable and non-renewable. These are the two sources which were taken from these renewable and non-renewable part. This section, that is non-conventional source of energy, were taken from the renewable section or renewable sources, and these were taken from the non-renewable part. Non-renewable part has two sub sections as well, that is recyclable and non-recyclable resources. We will discuss these examples which were included with the conventional sources of energy and non-conventional sources of energy. First of all, we will discuss conventional sources of energy. conventional source of energy includes three examples. There are three examples. One, that is coal. Number two, petroleum. Number three, natural gas. These are the three examples which we have to discuss. Number one, coal. Coal is a conventional source of energy which is not eco-friendly. It is a fossil fuel. Coal is formed from the plants which are buried under the soil over millions of years. These plants take millions of years for the formation of coal. This coal is obtained from the living organisms, particularly plants. What is coal? Coal is a fossil fuel. It is a conventional source of energy. Coal has the advantage, it is used for the heating purpose, for the generation of electricity, which is known as thermal electricity. Now this coal, it is obtained from the living organisms, particularly plants. These are the layers of sedimentary rocks which were deposited over millions of years. In ancient times, here is a plant which was buried under the soil. Year after year, these layers were deposited. Due to the pressure above these layers, due to the temperature below, which comes from the heat which comes from the core of the earth, it gives the heat to this plant. In that manner, this plant doesn't remain plant, it is converted into coal. This is the formation of coal. Coal is formed from the plants which are buried under the soil. When the layers of these rocks or sedimentary rocks are increasing, they create more pressure on this plant, and the heat which is released from the core, it moves upwards, and the plant which faces this heat, and due to high temperature below and due to high pressure above, this plant is converted into a black substance which is known as coal, which is fossil fuel. It is used, as I already told you, for the heating purpose. In mineral part, we have discussed that in blast furnaces, these are big apparatus where which are filled with the iron ore. Due to coal, we apply, by burning coal, we apply the heat to these blast furnaces, and this iron starts melting. In that manner, this iron is separated from that ore, and we get pure iron. This is the advantage of this coal, from which we obtain heat by burning. It is the one advantage. Another advantage is, by the burning of coal, we boil water. From boiling water, steam is produced. This steam is passed through pipe. And it is passed on a turbine. power generating turbine. When turbine is rotated, generator converts it into electricity, which is known as thermal electricity. This was the coal, which is fossil fuel, which has advantages, and we have discussed here the formation of coal. Coal is classified into, or this coal has 4 types. Number 1, anthracite. Number 2, bituminous coal. Number 3, lignite, and last one is 4th, that is peat coal. These are the 4 types of coal. These 4 types of coal are classified on the basis of carbon content. Which one is the best quality of coal and which one is the lowest quality of coal? That plant which is buried on the upper layers of the sedimentary rocks or soil, that plant doesn't receive the high pressure because there is only one layer, and that plant also receives less heat because it is above or on the top of the soil or on the top of the rock layer. In that manner, this peat doesn't convert fully into black substance, that is coal. It remains soft, and when it is burned, there is moisture, and when we burn it, there is the huge amount of carbon dioxide or smoke which is emitted from burning of this peat. This is the difference. Anthracite coal is the high grade coal. It is black, it has less moisture, it is hard. When it is burned, it gives a lot of heat energy which is used for the different purposes. Now, anthracite is the best quality of coal. Second grade is bituminous. Most of the coal which is used for the heating purposes and other purposes is bituminous coal. And lignite is the third grade of coal, and peat is the lowest grade of coal. Anthracite, it contains 87% of carbon. Second is bituminous, 77 to 87 carbon content. Then it is lignite, it contains 60 to 70% of carbon, and it is below 60% of carbon. This is the figure, or this is the percentage which I have given here, is the percentage of carbon content. Anthracite contains the highest carbon content, that is why it gives lot of heat when it is burned. This was the classification of coal. As I already told you, there are the 4 types of coal. Now the last subtopic in this coal is the distribution of coal. Distribution of coal. Coal actually is found in different areas of India. Coal is formed in 2 periods. One period is Gondwana period, another is Tertiary period. Gondwana period, it is that period in which the coal was formed. Gondwana period. And second is Tertiary period. These are the 2 periods. Tertiary period. These are the two periods in which the coal was formed. Gondwana coal, it is that period in which coal was formed 200 million years ago. 200 million years ago. Tertiary period, it is that period in which coal was formed 55 million years ago. These are the two time periods in which coal was formed, mostly in India. This was the time period when there was the process of tectonic plates. India was moving towards the Asian plate. Indian plate was moving towards Asian plate. It was colliding with the edge or southern edge of Asia. Most of the plants which were on those edges, on the northern edge of India and southern edge of Asia, such plants were buried under the soil, which soil or rocks were deposited, and which was buried. Those plants which were found at that time were buried under the soil. It was the time period of 200 million years ago. It is the time period when a large number of plants were buried in that patch, that is the Assam area, it is the Jharkhand area, West Bengal area. Now, in 200 million years ago, the coal which was formed in Gondwana period, it is mostly found in West Bengal and Jharkhand. Jaharia, Raniganj, Bokoro are the important coal fields. And tertiary period, that is 55 million years ago time period. This coal is mostly found in Meghalaya, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland. These are the states which you have to remember here. It is West Bengal and Jharkhand area where 200 million years coal is found. 55 million years ago, the coal which was formed in tertiary period is found in Meghalaya, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland. That was all about coal which we have discussed here. Now we will take the second topic, that is petroleum. Second, petroleum. Petroleum again, that is also obtained from the living organisms, particularly from the animals. Same procedure which we have discussed in coal. Petroleum is formed from the living organisms, especially animals. When these animals again are buried under the layers of the sedimentary rocks or under the soil, how much thickness would be above the animal, and great pressure would be exerted on that animal, and the heat which is receiving that animal from the interior of the earth, from the core. Ultimately, this animal doesn't remain animal, it is converted into a liquid which is known as petroleum. Actually, petroleum is composed of two words. Pet means rock. Oleum means oil. It is rock oil. It is not obtained from the rocks. Actually, rocks are supporting, rocks are helping in converting the plant into a liquid substance. That is why it is known as rock oil. Rocks are helping or supporting that animal to convert into petroleum. This petroleum is again a fossil fuel. It is again a fossil fuel. It is also conventional source of energy. Conventional source of energy. It also emits the greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. It also creates the pollution in the atmosphere. This petroleum is used for the heating purposes. Heating purposes. From that petroleum, when it is burned, heat is produced and water is boiled. Water is boiled. From boiling water, steam is produced. Again, same procedure would be followed. Through the pipe, this steam would be passed, and again it would be passed on the power generating turbine. When turbine is rotated, electricity would be generated. That electricity again would be the thermal electricity, because we generated that electricity with the help of heat, which we obtain from the burning of petroleum. From burning of coal, from burning of petroleum, we will receive the heat. From that heat, water is boiled, steam is produced, steam is passed through pipe, it is passed on the turbine. When turbine is rotated by the force of that steam, in that manner, power generating turbine, that generator which is attached with that turbine converts electricity. That electricity is known as thermal electricity. Petroleum mostly is found on the coastal areas, because in India there are various rivers which take water from the highest Himalayas and from the different regions of India. It takes dead animals and plants with the water, and finally these animals are deposited or settled on the ocean floor or continental shelf or continental slope. These are the first step. It is this is continent, this is continent, this is the downward part. Means this part where it starts, the ocean part, the deepness will increase. This is the initial part where this animal is deposited. It is known as continental shelf. Then again it is continental slope. Then other features comes on the below or ocean floor. These animals are buried in this part. We have the example in India, that is Mumbai High. It is that part where such animals were buried from the ancient times. There are two rivers which take water from the interior of the India, that is Narmada and Tapi, which takes water from the central part of India, and they follow the water towards the western part and drop water into Arabian Sea. In Mumbai, where this water they drain into the Arabian Sea, there is offshore region where this petroleum is found. That is continental shelf, as I already told you, where this petroleum, where these animals were buried from the ancient times. Nowadays, we are extracting petroleum there. That is the reason that most of the animals were buried there. Same procedure were followed from the other regions. In Assam region, there is one area, that is Digboi. In Digboi region, there is petroleum extracted, and there are other areas as well where petroleum is extracted. Mostly, this petroleum is obtained from the animals which were buried over millions of years. There is another region, as I already told you, Krishna, Godavari Basin. These are the areas which are included in that part. It is 63% petroleum is obtained from Mumbai, and it is 18% petroleum obtained from Gujarat, and 16% that is in Assam. These are the three major areas where the large quantity of petroleum is found there. Mostly it is obtained from Mumbai High. As I already told you, it is 63%. 63% of petroleum is obtained from Mumbai High. Mumbai High. Mumbai High is a region where, as I already told you, it is a continental shelf where petroleum is extracted mostly, that is 63%. The remaining percentage, that is 18%, and 16% is obtained from Gujarat and Assam. And third part, that is natural gas. This natural gas has a close relation with petroleum. Natural gas is found where with or without petroleum. What does it mean? In ancient times, where there was the less quantity of petroleum, but nowadays petroleum is not found there, but there is a gaseous layer above or in that area where petroleum was. That is without petroleum. Petroleum was there, and that petroleum was converted into natural gas. But in those areas where petroleum is found, in that large quantity of petroleum, there above the layer there is a gaseous layer which is known as the natural gas, where it is found. As I already told you, there is Mumbai High, there is Gujarat, there is Assam. These are the regions where most of the petroleum, as I already told you, 63% petroleum is found there. Most of the natural gas would be found there again. Now, in that manner, there is Gujarat, there is Assam, and there is Krishna Godavari Basin where these petroleum reserves are found. Obviously, natural gas would be found there. Somewhat this is known as clean energy. Natural gas is known as clean energy. Why it is known as clean energy? Because it emits less carbon dioxide. Less carbon dioxide. Coal and petroleum emits large quantity of carbon dioxide, but this natural gas emits less quantity of carbon dioxide. That is why it is known as clean energy. Again, it has the same properties as we have seen here. It is again a fossil fuel. It is fossil fuel. It is not a conventional source of energy. It is used for obtaining the heat energy. That heat energy is used to boil water. Steam is produced, that is passed through pipe, and that is again passed on the turbine, and electricity is generated by rotating turbine, which is known as the thermal electricity. Actually, this natural gas, which is used for the different industrial sectors, where it is passed through pipelines. In Lifeline chapter, there we have discussed pipeline is one means of transport through which petroleum, natural gas, and some semi-solid materials are transported from one place to another place. There is in India there is 1700 kilometers pipeline, which starts from Hazaria, Vijaypur, Jagdishpur cross-country gas pipeline, which links again Mumbai High Basin with the fertilizer industry or power and industrial complexes in western and northern part of India. Now, again, this petroleum, natural gas, and other these sources which are used for the industrial sectors, mostly that is the fertilizer industry. Fertilizer industries, that is power or fertilizer industries, are the key users of the CNG or natural gas. This was the conventional source of energy which we have completed here. It contains three examples which we have discussed here: coal, petroleum, and natural gas. Now we will take another topic, that is non-conventional sources of energy. Source of energy. Second, non-conventional sources of energy. You know, we gave here some examples in the introduction part. It also has the different examples, that is solar energy, tidal energy, geothermal energy, biogas, and other sources which we obtain from the renewable sources. Before discussing non-conventional source of energy, we will discuss electricity. This electricity is produced from different sources. One source which we have discussed in conventional source of energy, that is thermal electricity. We have no need to discuss this part again. Side by side, I have discussed here that coal, which is used for the electricity purposes or heating purposes, or petroleum again, and natural gas again is used for the generation of electricity, that is thermal electricity. Here is one electricity which is produced with the help of the water, by the force of the water, by the construction of the dams. Dam is actually a barrier, a cemented construction across a river. Towards the above side, on the upper part of this river, the water level starts increasing. This water level, when it is increased, it acts as a reservoir. It acts as a reservoir. The water is stored. Now, when the level starts increasing, this water is allowed to flow from higher gradient to lower gradient. When this water is allowed to flow from high level to lower level, there is turbine. When it is passed on the turbine starts rotating. In that manner, it is known as hydroelectricity, that we have taken the source water by constructing a dam. In that manner, we will generate electricity, that is known as hydroelectricity. There are various examples in India. Bakranangal Dam that has been constructed across the river Satluj, and there is Mahanadi river. Across that river there is Hirakud Dam, which is mostly for the purpose to control the floods. But Bakranangal Dam has the multi-purpose that is used for hydroelectricity, irrigation, and domestic purposes and other purposes. Again, there is another source, that is nuclear or atomic energy. Nuclear energy or atomic energy is that energy from which again electricity is generated. There is used one element, that is uranium, and another, that is thorium. There is an instrument which is used for the breaking of this uranium, that is known as nuclear reactor. When the uranium is placed under this nuclear reactor, when it is crushed, energy is released. When energy is released, at that time again the electricity is obtained from that source, that is known as the nuclear energy or atomic energy. This uranium and thorium has other purposes as well that will be discussed, that you have studied in previous classes, that in 9th class, in particularly in physics, nuclear energy and atomic energy. Monazite sand is one sand that is in Kerala that is rich in thorium. Okay, uranium, it is mostly found in Ladakh, and it is also found in Aravalli ranges of that is in Rajasthan and Jharkhand area. These are the areas where uranium is found, and there is thorium which is found in monazite sand of Kerala. Now we will move towards this part, non-conventional source of energy. First is solar energy, second is wind energy, biogas, tidal energy, and geothermal energy. Number 1, solar energy. Number 2, wind energy. Number 3, biogas. Number 4, tidal energy. Number 5, geothermal energy. geothermal energy. Now we will discuss these one by one. Number one, that is solar energy. India has the advantage to use solar energy, as I already told you that Tropic of Cancer passes through India, almost at the mid of India. There are various states through which it passes, that is Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh and other states. They have the advantage to utilize this solar energy. India has a bright future of using this solar energy because it has the advantage. Solar energy, it is a non-conventional source of energy. It doesn't create pollution, it is a renewable source. Mostly in solar energy, there is a solar panel. There is a technology that is known as photovoltaic technology. Photovoltaic technology. It is the actually electricity which is produced by this panel or solar panel. This is the diagram of this solar panel. This is solar panel. When ultraviolet radiations are penetrated on this solar panel, solar energy is converted into electrical energy. With the help of photovoltaic technology, because there is a technology which has been applied for manufacturing of these solar panels, as this solar energy is mostly used for the street lights, for sterilizing of milk in a large quantity, and mostly the street lights and these urban areas. In urban areas, most of the highways contains these solar panels which are attached with that light, and during the night time it is used. During the night time particularly. Now second, that is wind energy. Wind energy is obtained from the force of the wind. What is wind? It is when air is in movement, that is the wind. This wind energy is used to move the turbine. You have heard the word that there are these windmills. Most of the windmills are found in Tamil Nadu, because this Tamil Nadu is found at the southern most part of India, which one side there is Bay of Bengal, in south side there is Indian Ocean. There is most possibility of moving this wind, as you have heard the word like sea breeze and land breeze. In the interior of the country, there is not that much movement of this wind as we are observing this movement of wind in the ocean or land where it is connected. In coastal areas mostly. And that is why most of the windmills have been found in Nagarcoil is one area in Tamil Nadu where it is found. This is a tower, or there are various towers in that windmill. On the top of the towers there are fans attached. When there is a fast wind, these blades or fans starts rotating. When they are rotating, there is generator attached which converts it into energy, which is known as wind energy. That is again the electricity, but the source is different. Electricity we have obtained from the water as well. Electricity we have obtained from the burning of coal as well, but the sources are different. The source, that is the fast wind which we have used, in Tamil Nadu particularly, there is one area that I already told you that as I already told you, there is one state, Tamil Nadu, there is one region that is Nagarkoil where most of the windmills are found there, where there is most possibility of producing this wind energy. Biogas. Biogas, these are the wastes or biodegradable wastes, or those wastes which comes from the rural areas particularly, because there are the people which rear the cattle population, and from this cattle population there is the huge quantity of this cow dung. This cow dung, leaves, branches, other wastes or these vegetable wastes are stored in one place for some time, and when these wastes are stored in one place, that place is known as Gobar gas plant. It is like this. These are all wastes which are stored in this container, which is known as Gobar gas plant. These are the wastes, and there is a lid, and it is Gobar gas plant. Mostly it is seen in rural areas because people rear this cattle population mostly. Actually, it is this organic matter is decomposed. When they are decomposed, these wastes are converted into a gas. Mostly it is the methane gas. Methane gas. This methane gas has high thermal efficiency. It has high thermal efficiency as that of fossil fuels. Such as petroleum, petrol, kerosene, diesel, and any other fossil fuel, LPG. When they are burned, that much heat is not produced as we are receiving from burning of this methane gas. Now, in other words, when we use these cow dung and other wastes, when we burn them, there is a huge amount of that is carbon dioxide which is emitted into the atmosphere. That would be very harmful for our environment. But there is a scientific way we must that these wastes should be stored like this in a Gobar gas plant. Environment will be again protected, and we will obtain this gas through which we will obtain heat energy as well. Heat will be produced by burning of these wastes. Heat will be produced by burning of this methane again. In this way, when we heat will be produced in both the cases, we should prefer to that part which will not create the pollution. In other words, this is the one advantage of these materials or wastes which are stored in one part, that area, that is Gobar gas plant. Another advantage of this is used to organic fertilizers is one advantage of this manure, that is cow dung. That is manure which is applied to the different fields or rice fields or different crops. The production or the humus is formed, humus or fertility will be increased in that particular soil. Fertility will be increased in that piece of land where this manure or cow dung will be applied. These are it is a dual advantage. One advantage that we will obtain the methane gas, another advantage that when it would be applied in the different fields, we will obtain the fertility of the land would be increased. This was the biogas. Tidal energy. Tidal energy is that energy which is obtained from the tides in oceans and seas. What are the tides? Actually, it is the movement of water in the seas and oceans. In seas and oceans, there is a movement of water, but the causes are different. One cause is attraction of sun and moon. When moon and sun are attracting this earth, there is loose part, that is water. Rocks are compact, they will not move from their original place. Water is movable. It is that part which is liquid, it can move easily. This sun and moon, due to the gravitation of these two bodies, the water starts moving upwards. When sun and moon is face to face towards the water, when this water side of the earth moves, other part, they are not now facing towards the sun and moon, means at the time tides are not there. There would be tides, but these are not referred as high tides, these would be low tides. High tides are at the time when sun and moon are attracting this earth on the water side or towards the ocean side. What is the procedure or what is the mechanism of producing this tidal energy? Mostly in coastal areas there are the floodgates. When this tidal water moves towards the coastal areas and floodgates are abruptly closed. Now we have stored the water. It is that water which we have obtained or stored with the help of tides. It is again the water. We have used the water in the reverse as well, but that is not known as tidal energy, that is known as hydroelectricity. But that is the construction of dam. But here is the another, that is again the water, but there is the force which is known as the tide. Due to the tides, water comes to the coast and we are stored with the help of the floodgates. This is the procedure or this is the mechanism through which tidal energy is produced. When we discuss this distribution, this is very simple. Those coastal areas of India, whether it would be the Maharashtra, it would be Karnataka, it would be Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and it would be this Andhra Pradesh, Orissa and West Bengal. These are the coastal states. They have the more chances of producing this tidal energy. Mostly it is Gulf of Khambat, it is Gulf of Kutch in Gujarat. Gulf of Kutch in Gujarat. Western coast is there. There is the Gangetic Delta of Sudarban region of West Bengal. These are the regions where this tidal energy is mostly produced. Last part of this non-conventional source of energy is the geothermal energy. Very simple. Geothermal energy, when we cut here geo, it will become thermal. Thermal energy. Thermal energy is that energy which we have produced from the fossil fuels. We have discussed that part. When we add geothermal, it is that heat which we obtain from the earth's interior. From the earth. You have heard the name of hot springs. There are in some places of the world or in some places in the country in India, there are hot springs. Naturally, the water is boiled below the crust and it comes on the surface of the earth in the form of springs. Here are the two examples. One is located in Parvati Valley near Manikaran in Himachal Pradesh, and another is the Poga Valley in Ladakh. These are the two regions in India where these hot springs are found. What is the mechanism? This is the mechanism. Geothermal energy is produced by the water, by the hot water which is found in the springs. It is the heat from the interior of the earth. Interior of the earth. Due to this heat which comes from the interior of the earth, due to the heat, water is boiled and it comes on the surface of the earth in the form of springs. These springs are, there is a fencing which is constructed along the periphery of this spring, and it is covered by a lid, and it is fully covered, and the steam which is naturally produced should be captured. When this steam is captured, pressure is exerted. When steam is produced again and again, the pressure is exerted and pipe is with this spring, and this steam is passed on a pipe through a pressure. When it is passed on the turbine is rotated and it is generator there which generate it into electricity. That electricity which we obtain from the heat of the interior of the earth, that is known as geothermal energy. And last that is conservation of energy resources. How we can conserve these energy resources. First of all, we should not prefer to use a conventional source of energy. We should choose the substitutes of these conventional source of energy, as we have discussed here, non-conventional source of energy. First of all, we should prefer these non-conventional sources of energy because these are renewable sources of energy. They can be renewed naturally. But when we obtain in large quantity coal, petroleum, natural gas, they are non-renewable sources. In that manner, the quantity of these reserves will be decreased in next years. We should switch off electricity when not in use, using power saving devices. Mostly, as I already told you, there should be the carpooling because the pressure on the petroleum will be also minimized. We should prefer the public transport. Individual transport will consume the much more petroleum. The pressure on the petroleum reserves would be day by day increased. And the cost, when the resources in the reserves would be decreased, the cost ultimately will be increased. Here is one sentence related to this conservation. Energy saved is energy produced. Energy saved is energy produced. When you save energy, means that you have produced energy. That was the conservation of energy resources. Now, we have completed this chapter and mineral and energy resources. I hope that you have understood these two parts which I have discussed in separately, minerals and energy resources. Thank you very much. God bless you.